Car has a market value less than the residual, then the answer is no. You should then walk away from the car. If, on the other hand, the market value is greater than the residual, then buy it, sell it, and pocket the difference. This is assuming, of course, that you have the money to buy it. Residual values may vary from place to place. It is in your benefit to get the highest residual possible, because this will typically keep your payments lower. The vehicle charts in the Complete Car Cost Guide give you expected depreciation and resale values of all the cars. Open and closed-end leases. Most leases today are closed-end leases, meaning that the residual value is fixed at the beginning of the lease. You then have the option of purchasing the car at the residual value or walking away from it. With an open-end lease, there is still a residual value set at the beginning of the lease. But if the car is worth more than the residual value, then you must pay the difference. Always go for a closed-end lease. The money factor. This is the phrase used for the finance rate upon which the lease payments are based. The lower the rate, the lower the monthly payments. Obviously, you want the lowest rate you can find. Capital cost reduction. This is a fancy name for cash down payment. A large down payment will, of course, lower your monthly payments, but will also negate one of the big advantages of leasing. Gap protection. What if, God forbid, you total the car? Well, that would be considered early termination. Leasing companies will hit you with an early termination fees, which can be quite substantial. Your own auto insurance will cover the actual cash value of the car at the time of its loss, but that may not be enough to cover the lease payoff balance and the termination penalties. Gap protection will pay all the other fees. Most leases include gap insurance in their payments. Check to make sure it is. You'll pay more for it, but it's highly recommended. Mileage allowance. Here's a potential trap for you. The typical lease requires that the leasee drive no more than 15,000 miles per year over the term of the lease. If the mileage is greater, then there is a charge of anywhere between 6 and 25 cents per mile over the limit, depending on the lease. Here's a little tip. If you know you're going to go over your mileage limit, trade your car in early. By doing that, you can finance what you owe on the car by putting it towards your next lease, instead of paying the mileage penalty up front. Check to see if you have to pay an early termination fee. This fee may not make it worth your while. If you lease your car from the same place, they may waive the termination fee. Make sure you read your contract to see if this works for you. Wear and tear. It's your responsibility to keep the car in good shape. If you return the car with a dented fender, bald tires, or lack of routine maintenance, you will be charged with the repairs. Reasonable wear and tear is allowed, but if you're not inclined to take care of your car, then leasing may not be for you. Keep complete and accurate service records, because the leasing company has a right to inspect them. Miscellaneous fees. Expect a number of assorted fees with any lease. A security deposit is almost always included. Some leasing companies may also charge you with an acquisition fee and a disposition fee. Ask about this and try to negotiate these payments out of your lease. Leasing a car is not that much different from buying a car. One of the biggest mistakes is walking into a dealership and announcing that you can pay so much a month to lease a car. Instead, start by negotiating the price of the car, just as you would as if you were buying the car. Then negotiate the residual value and excess mileage fees. When comparing the dealership quotes, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. All quotes should contain the same variables like sales tax and gap insurance. So, to lease or not to lease? Leasing may be right for you if you prefer to use your cash in investments other than a car. You would like to drive a car more expensive for a lower initial cash outlay. You would like to trade in your car every 2, 3, or 4 years on a new model. And you want to avoid the hassle of selling your used car. Leasing may not be right for you if you usually drive your car more than 15,000 miles a year. You are not inclined to take care of your car. You like the idea of keeping a car that you now own after making your monthly payments. All in all, leasing is just another way of financing a car. You'll need to take all the elements into consideration before you decide if leasing is right for you. We've been talking about conventional ways of buying a car. There are a couple of unconventional ways also. We'd like to inform you of some of these. Remember earlier we talked about calling an automobile brokerage house to find out dealer invoice? Well, these houses primarily sell cars to you right through the mail. Since we are familiar with nationwide auto brokers, I'll tell you a little bit about their services. When you get the cost analysis printout from Nationwide, you should use those numbers to negotiate your best deal with your local dealership. But many people just don't want to go through the hassle of car shopping and opt for a brokerage service. Or they may find they can't get a better price than the brokerage service. To purchase a car from a brokerage service, you go through your cost analysis printout and take the dealer invoice amounts from the vehicle and all the options you want. You then send this order form back to Nationwide with a deposit. Once you place the order, they will send you a price quotation and new vehicle purchase order. This gives you the opportunity to look over everything and make sure it is correct. All cars are under warranty, just as they would be from a dealership, and all manufacturer rebates and incentives will be honored. You may also finance the vehicle through Nationwide. You can then arrange for delivery by picking it up at their factory in Michigan, having it drop shipped to a local dealer of your own choice, or having a bonded driver deliver it right to your home. If you wish more information on their service, we suggest you call them directly at 313-559-6661. Other ways of buying cars include auto auctions and police sales. A lot of local and county police stations confiscate automobiles from drug dealers and sell them at auction. These are usually not new cars, but sometimes they're in excellent condition with very low mileage. You can find out about these sales by looking in your regional newspapers or by just calling your local and county police stations. Bigger cities and urban areas usually have more cars to choose from. The dealerships have fine-tuned how to sell cars. Their strategies are designed to help them gain more profits and not to benefit you. Here's a quick summary of what we've covered today. Write these down and use them when your negotiating gets fast and furious. Know what you're buying. Do research on the car you want. Negotiate correctly. Find out the dealer invoice and work from the invoice price up, not the sticker price down. Negotiate the price of the car, not monthly payments, and go to at least 3 dealerships. Secure your loan from an outside bank or credit union. Ask for a simple interest loan with the lowest interest rate attainable. If you finance from a dealership, use your amortization book. Use the Kelley Blue Book to find out the wholesale and retail prices for your trade-in. Your library will have a copy of this book. You now have some good information at your disposal that can save you thousands when buying your new car. Good luck.